Hi, my name is Ashish Devlikar and I am your instructor on this press tool course. In this course, we will learn some of the press tool construction and its design aspects which would be definitely helpful for you to understand the basics of the tooling system. First, we will learn about some of the components of press tool such as the press machine, material handling equipments, strip straightening devices, press dies or press tools. Next, we will look at some of the applications of press tool such as automobile industries, aerospace industries, construction industries, kitchen utensils, electronic appliances, and other hardware applications. Next, we will look at some of the operations performed on press tool such as the cutting, non-cutting, and the combined operations. Next, we will be seeing some of the common types of press dies such as simple dies, compound dies, combination dies, transfer dies, drawing dies, progressive dies, and lastly, bending dies. We will also look at some of the steps involved in the press tool design, from design aspects, manufacturing aspects, assembly, and inspection. So thank you for your attention. We have a lot of hard things to learn together, so don't hesitate and join us on this press tool design course, and see you on the first online lecture. For more information, you may contact on the numbers provided below. Thank you. Welcome to today's webinar on press tool. Thank you for taking your time out and being here. My name is Ashish Devligar. I will be introducing myself later on. First, let us see what is IDMI, introduction to IDMI and its activities. Okay, so IDMI was established in 1969. We conduct all kind of training activities for calibration testing. Also, we have tool room facilities for machining facilities such as CNC, sparking, and we make dies for press tool, molds, jigs and fixture, and various other types of dies, design and development also. We have design and development department. Then we have research activities ongoing over here. We have electromechanical assemblies, product design, and consultancy. So you can see that we are a training institute as well as a designing firm which manufactures dies and press tools. Okay, dies, press tools, and molds. So here you can see we have tool design tool room, then calibration, testing, training courses, and all those steps. Okay. So first, let me ask, can you guys hear me clearly? If yes, then please type in the chat box. Okay, I guess everyone can hear me clearly. Okay. So let me introduce myself. My name is Ashish Devlikar. I am working as a tool design engineer at IDMI. I have done my BE mechanical, and then I have completed my postgraduate diploma in tool design and CAD CAM. Okay. So what do you think a tool is? Okay. What a normal person thinks a tool might be the one which we use in for tightening devices or doing some kind of work. Okay, for example, the pliers, screwdrivers, or a spanner. Okay, but what actually a tool is for an industrial person, it would look something like this. Okay, so when it comes to industry, a tool can be referred to as the one which produces mass production products or jobs, or which can produce casting, molding components. Okay, then next we will see what are the different types of tool. Okay. Different types of tool includes casting dice, press tools, injection molding, work holding tools, and machining cutting tools. Okay, so these are the tools which we broadly classified. These are the major types in which the tools are broadly classified. First, the casting. What are casting dice? Okay, so what is a casting? A casting is a process in which there are two halves, a fixed half and a moving half, and then the material is poured into the casting, and then it is plunged at high pressure so that the material takes the shape of the cavity and core. Okay, and then at the end the casting is removed. Okay, this is called as the die casting process. Okay, next we have the press tool, which we are going to see today. This is the main concern, um, main topic of this webinar. Okay, press tool. So what is a press tool? A press tool is a tool in which we feed sheet metal, and different operations are performed on that sheet metal to get a final product. Okay, so here the products that are formed would have a uniform thickness throughout the cross section. Okay, but unlike in casting, the thickness may vary. But in press tool, the products that are formed would be having a uniform thickness throughout the product. Okay. Next, we have the injection molding machines. It is similar to the casting process, just that in over here, instead of pouring metal, here we plunge plastic material. Okay, so here plastic material is used. Same way here we have fixed half and moving half, that is cavity and core, and then at high pressure, plastic is injected into the mold so that the plastic takes the shape of the cavity and core. Next is the work holding tools, or we can call it as jigs and fixture. So what happens in after the casting process, that is this casting process, there are a lot of post processing activities to be carried out on the component. So those for carrying out those activities, such as for example, you have to drill a hole at a particular compound angle, or you have to machine a particular surface. So for that, you need to hold the casting at a particular angle, or you need to fix the casting at one place so that you can so that you can make the desired operations. Okay, for example, drilling of hole or machining of the surface. So that can be done using this jigs and fixture, or you can call it as work holding devices. So these are very useful for mass production jobs. These types of jigs and fixture work holding devices are used on CNC machines wherever there are production jobs, so that you can quickly assemble and disassemble a product and do the required operations. Okay. Next, we have the machine cutting tools, or else we can also call it as special cutting tools. These are the ones which we use on lathe, like the single point cutting tool, multi point cutting tools, or the carbide insert tools. All types of cutters which we use for CNC, that is conventional and non-conventional machining, comes under the machine cutting tools. Okay, so let me ask you, uh, just a minute. Can you hear me now properly? Hello? Can you hear now properly? Okay. One more thing, I would request everyone, if you have any doubts, just type in the chat box. We would be making a Q&A session at the end of the webinar, and we will be clearing all your doubts. Okay. Okay. So let us move ahead. Understanding the types. So, can anyone please tell me what type of tool is this? This is a press tool, but what type of tool is this? Yes, correct. Correct, correct. This is a progressive press tool, because in this components are formed in stages. Like first, this is the first stage, second stage, third stage. Likewise, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are approximately 12 stages. Okay, so initially the strip is fed, that is a blank strip is fed, and at the end you will get a finished product. So that is why this is called as the progressive tool. Okay, next we will see what type of tool is this. Okay, this is a this you can call, on the right hand side that you see, you can call it as the draw tool, and on the left hand side this one is the what you call compound tool. Okay, compound dice on the left hand side. Okay, so this we will see later on. I will show you some videos about the dice. Okay, so let us see now what is a press tool. Uh, so it is a machine by which we can do cutting and non-cutting operations by applying force without removal of the chip. Okay, so like in conventional machining, we for example in lathe there is a chip removal process, but in press tool this is not applicable. In press tool what happens is we either get a component or we get a scrap. Okay, that is what happens in press tool. We don't form any kind of chip. Okay. The stamping of parts for sheet metal is shaped or cut using different operations. Okay, like I said earlier, there are different operations that are being performed on a press dice, which we will see later on what all are the operations that are performed in press tool. Then it is a cold working process. Here there is no heat involved. Like in casting and molding process, there was heat involved, but in press tool there is no heat involved. We just feed the strip without any heating effect. Okay, so I will just refer on the right side the schematic diagram as shown besides. Okay, so this is the tool. So you can see over here, this is the raw material which we are feeding. This is called as the press die or the tool. We have punches over here, then guide pillar, guide bush, all those components of the press dies, and this is the machine on which we will be mounting the tool. Okay, so like I said, if we have scrap, then it would fall off the machine on the bottom side, and then we have a flywheel and different arrangements over here for the tool to go up and down for the stroke to take place. Okay. So let us see the advantages and limitations of press tool. So advantages, we have mass production, that is we can produce numerous number of components in smaller amount of time. Then we have dimensional accuracy. You can see, if you have seen a radius gauge or a fillet gauge or filler gauge, okay, those two are also made from press tool only. So you can get a dimensionally accurate component by adjusting the what we can say, the clearance between the punch and the die. By giving a optimum clearance, you can get a dimensionally accurate product. Then it happens without the removal of the chip, like I said earlier. Then no post processing is required. Mostly post processing is not required in press tool, like in die casting and jigs and die casting and molds. Then highly, it is used for highly interchangeability. Then high speed of production is high. Then easy to handle raw material. Raw material can be can be handled easily by using feeding equipment such as coil feeding equipments, so that the sheet metal can be coiled and can be uncoiled anytime. Okay, while feeding to the die, it can be uncoiled. So it is easy to handle the raw material. Then automation, you can automate the whole process, like from feeding the strip to the end product, everything can be automated. Okay. Most economical, this is the most economical, that is the cost per piece would be much larger as compared to the other process, like the casting and plastic. Your cost per piece is high, but in press tools it is low, very low. So there are limitations. Thickness cannot vary. Thickness should be constant throughout the sheet product, so the thickness cannot be varied. Then shapes can be limited. Too complicated shapes cannot be fitted into a single die. Then we have to split the dies into two, so shapes can be limited. Then lead time is high. Next, we require special tools are required. Then high initial investment is required. Special tools are required because we have for example, if we have to cut a particular shape, then we have to make the punch in that shape. Okay, so at that time you need to you would be requiring a tool of the shape which we require on the component. Okay, and also the initial investment, that is why because the tooling is difficult for punches, that is why we require processes such as wire EDM or sparking, okay, which indirectly increases the cost of the tool. Then high skills and expertise are required. Difficult to repair and maintain. So here, after the tool is manufactured, if there is any changes in the component, it is very difficult for you to change the component. Okay, so we have to change the punch. Indirectly, we have to change all the plates. So it is a bit difficult to change the component. Next, it is difficult to, as I said earlier, difficult to modify the component. Okay, so we will see the applications of press tool. Where is this press tool used? So automobile industries, 50% of the press industries is for automobiles, like the car bonnet or the doors. or the shielding panel for the engine block, all those are made by press tools. Okay, this component that you see over here is done by forming process. Sorry. Next is the aerospace industries, about 30%. Uh, if you uh, if you see, most of the parts of the plane are made by sheet metal only. Then construction industries, we have kitchen utensils. Whatever utensils you see, like the glass or the bowl or the plates, all these are made by glass are made by drawing process, and all other process and all other utensils are usually made by bulging process. We have many processes like bulging, then forming process, we have all those processes. Then electronic appliances, like the lugs or the connectors, these small components are also made by press tool. Then other hardware appliances, okay, like the stacking of motor stacking, for motor stator windings, winding stacking is also made by press tool design. Stamping tool, it is called as the stamping tool. Okay. Next we have the components of press assembly. So what all are the components that are fitted into a press assembly? So first is the press machine itself. So it would look something like this. This is the press machine in which we would be mounting our die. So this is called as a press machine. Then we have the material handling equipments, like the raw material which you have, the coils. You need to feed that coil into the die. So for that you have material handling equipments which would look like this. Okay, this can be numerically controlled by the controllers, and here your coil would be mounted over here, and then it would be fed through the numerical control machine. Or there are many other machines in which you can use, they use pneumatic arms. Then we have the strip straightening devices. Now after uncoiling the coil strip, you need to straighten the strip. So for that these rollers are used, so that the strip can be flat and grounded, so that while feeding into the die it would be straight and not wavy. Okay, for that we use strip straightening devices. Next we have the press die or the press tool, which is the main concern, which would look somewhat like this. Okay, so this die would be fitted in over here, and then strip would be fed into the die. So this is called as a press die or the press tool. So let us see some of the operations that are performed on press tool. So first we will see the cutting operations. So in cutting we have blanking, piercing, slitting, perforating, notching, trimming. So all these are the operations. I have a video, I can show you that. Okay, so in blanking, the component that we punch out of the die would be the required piece. Okay, and rest of the strip would be scrap. Okay, but in piercing it is completely opposite. The hole that we form is the required feature, and the scrap and the component that is falling down is the scrap. Okay, so this is the difference between blanking and piercing. Similarly we have this slitting. Slitting is for what you can say, if this is the coil and you have to get its width to 50 mm. For example, it is of 60 mm and its width you want to make it to 50 mm. Then this slitting process is used. Perforating, you might have seen on your PC cabinets on the rear side where the fan is mounted. You have many holes at certain pitch. Okay, so that holes are made by perforating operation. Okay. Similarly, we have parting off, cut off, shaving. This all comes under the cutting operations. Then we have the non-cutting. Non-cutting operations are the ones in which scrap is not formed. Okay, so here stretching, drawing, bending, coining, embossing, bulging, extrusion, planishing, curling, flaring, and swagging. Okay, these are all the non-cutting operations. Uh, and then lastly we have the combined operations. Okay, in combined we have lancing and lowering. Now, if you have observed some in buses, if you have observed bus at the rear side of the bus, you can see that they have some ventings for the engine, for the ventilation of the engine. Those ventings on the sheet metal are called as lowerings. Okay, we can see a video. Let's see a video now first. You can see. So this is what we can call as the bending operation, 90-degree bend operation. This is how the bending process takes place. Then here that you see is the two halves of the die, coining die. This is the fixed and the moving half. Okay, so sheet metal is fed, and then based on the shape of the die, the sheet metal takes the shape. Okay, so this is called as the coining operation. Then we have, sorry, this is the compound die which we saw earlier. These dies are mostly used for making washers. Okay, what happens is here both the OD and ID are cut at the same stage. Okay, that is why it is called as the compound die. Two cutting operations are taking at the same time. Okay. Here you can see the lancing operation that I mentioned earlier. This is that lancing operation. So here what is happening is there is cutting of the metal as well as bending of the metal. Okay, so cutting and bending operation both are taking place at the simultaneously. That is why it is called as combined operation. Okay, so this is, you can call as the lancing operation. Okay, then we have the blanking. Okay, here you can see, sorry, this one was piercing because the workpiece is this and the scrap is falling down. So this is called as the piercing die. Okay, so this was about the different operations. So next we have the generalized press tool layout. So I will be showing you some of the basic components that are present in the press tool. So the components of press tool. These all are the components of the press tool. So here you can see we have the top plate, or which is usually called as the top shoe on the upper side. Okay, this one is the top plate. Then we have the thrust plate over here. Then we have the punch holder plate, which is used to hold all the punches in the die. Then we have the stripper plate here. Then next is the guide plate for guiding the strip into the die. This is called as the guide plate. Then die plate in which the cutting operation is taking place. Then bottom plate is for supporting the die plate. Then we have the shank. This shank is used for fitting this tool into the die. Next is guide bush. For alignment of the tool, we use guide bush and guide pillars. Okay, so here we have the guide bush and here we have the guide pillar. Then we have the die stoppers over here. Okay, so I will just shortly tell you the functionality of the each plates. So the top plate is used for mounting the tool on the machine. Okay, as mentioned earlier over here. Okay. Okay, on this machine, for mounting the tool on this machine, there are some T slots on the plates. So for that purpose, the top plate and the bottom plates are used. Okay, so this top plate and this base plate are used for mounting this tool onto the machine. Okay. Next is the thrust plate. This is the thrust plate. This plate is used for bearing all the forces during the punching operation. Okay, that is made up of hardened material such as OHS, or sometimes we can use as EN36. Okay, such kind of material can be used for making the thrust plate so that it can bear all the forces during the punching operation. Okay, this plate is taken of soft material, that is the top plate. Next is the punch holder plate. So all the punches that are going to perform the operations are fitted into the punch holder plate. So that is why it is called as a punch holder plate. In this plate, all the punches will be fitted. Next is the stripper plate. Okay, so this plate is called as a stripper plate. It has two functionality. First is it guides the punch. Since the punch is overhang from this point to this point, there should be some kind of guidance for the punch during the cutting operation. Okay, so for that, stripper plate can be used for guiding the punch. And second functionality and the major functionality of the stripper plate is to remove the scrap or the sheet metal, extract the punch from the sheet metal. So what happens is, after the punching is done into the sheet, the tendency of the sheet where the hole is being formed is that it shrinks. Okay, due to that shrinking, it holds the punch tightly. So we need to strip that sheet from the punch. So for that, you can for that purpose, this stripper plate is used. Okay. Next is the guide plate. Guide plate is used for feeding the strip into the die so that it goes in a straight direction. For that purpose, we use these guide plates. Then the die plate. Die plate is this one over here. In this, the die buttons or the die bush can be fitted, and the punch goes into this die bush and cuts the metal, and the scrap falls over from this slot over here. Okay, so this is called as from this slot the scrap would be falling. Okay, so this is called as the die plate. For this purpose, die plate is used. Then the bottom plate, similar to the top plate, it is used for holding the tool onto the machine. Then the shank. This shank is used for, okay, this shank is used for fitting this tool into the machine for proper alignment of the tool with the machine. Okay, so what happens is similar kind of slot is there in the machine, and this shank can be fitted over there. Okay, so this is how we use shank. This is the usage of shank. Then we have the guide pillar and bush. These two sets are used for alignment of the complete tool, so that the fixed half and the moving half aligns each other during the punching operation. Next we have the die stoppers. Okay, these die stoppers are used so that the punch do not exceed a certain limit after punching into the die. Okay, that is why these die stoppers are used. If this stoppers won't be there, then this plate would and if the stroke is not adjusted on the machine, then this plate will touch on this plate and it might damage. Okay, for example, this plate might touch this bush, stripper bush. Okay, for that reason die stoppers are used, so that the punch are penetrated into the die bush up to a certain depth only. Okay, so this was all about the different parts of a simple tool, you can say. Then we have this boltings over here for holding the 3 upper plates and the 4 bottom plates. Then for the alignment of these individual plates, we can use dowel pins. We use dowel pins for the alignment of these 3 plates with each other. And for the alignment of these plates, we can again use another dowel pin over here. Also, while doing the punching operation, we have scrap. Okay, so we need to remove the scrap. So for that purpose, we use this bottom spacer, so that we can insert a tray at the bottom of the base plate or the bottom shoe, so that we can remove the scrap. Okay, this plate is also held using these Allen screws. Next, we will see about the types of press dies. Okay, so first we'll see what is a simple die. So this is a simple piercing die in which a particular shaped punch is forming the shape in the component. Okay, this is called as the simple die. Then we have the compound die. Okay, like we saw earlier, the washer here, internal diameter and external diameter both are cut at the same simultaneously. That is why it is called as the compound die. Okay, multiple operations are taking place. For example, in compound die here, in this example, piercing and blanking both are taking place at the same time. That is why it is called as the compound die. Next, we have combination die. Okay, this die, if you see, a straight strip is being fed, and then this punch is cutting the sheet and also doing another operation, that is drawing. Okay, so combination die can be defined as the one which cuts the sheet and also forms the sheet. Okay, so it is a cutting and non-cutting process at the same time. So this is called as the combination die. Sorry. Okay, you can see over here, it is first cutting and then it is drawing the same cut shaped like the bowl shape. Okay, that is called as the compound die. Then we have the, just a minute. Then we have transfer dies. Okay, so here in transfer dies, like in progressive die, your strip is connected, that is your component is connected to the strip till the end. Okay, but that is not the case in transfer dies. You can see, if you can see over here, there are pneumatic arms at each station. So what it does is it picks the component from that station and drops the component to the next station. Okay, so that is why it is called as the transfer dies. Here the component is not connected to the strip. Okay, you can see over here, it is picking up and placing the component on the next station, and then punching operation is taking place, and then same process is repeated. Okay, so this type of dies are a little bit complicated, because there are pneumatic arms involved in it. You can see over here, it is flipping the component and placing it over here. Okay, it is flipping and placing. So if you like we said earlier, the shape of the components that are being formed in press tool are limited. Okay, so more it is complicated, more complicated your die will be. Okay, so this is called as the transfer dies. You can see it is picking up and then placing on next station, and then operations are performed. Okay, next we have the drawing dies. The die, for example, if you have seen a glass at your home or a water bottle, steel water bottle, so that type of bottles are made from this drawing process, which can be illustrated over here. So first we keep a blank for drawing. For drawing, there is a circular disc of certain calculated diameter. We have some calculations for drawing. So for we need to keep a disc, and then we have a die over here. Then we have a similar shaped punch. Okay, we have a punch of the same shape uh, as that required in the component inner diameter. Okay, you can see there is a punch and there is a blank holder over here which holds the blank, and then pressure is applied, and what happens is this material starts flowing into the die. Okay, from all the sides, and at the end you will get the desired product. Okay, this is called as the drawing process. Okay, so the this whatever radius over here you have, same radius would be on your product. Okay? This is called as the drawing process. Here no chip, for this is a non-cutting process, no chip formation is done. Then we have the progressive tool, which we saw earlier. This is how a progressive tool works. You can see how straight strip is being feeded, and at the end you have a finished product. Okay, so the parting of operation that we saw earlier in the operation slide, here it is done. Okay, the final component is connected to the strip, and then parting off is done. Here you can clearly see the punches. These are the die stoppers which we saw earlier. Then these are the punches in pink color. These are called as the punches. Okay. Here parting of operation is taking place. This pink punch is breaking the component from the strip. Okay, that is why it is called as the parting of operation. This is what we can call as parting of operation. Here the bending operation is taking place. Okay, and as I said earlier, this is the top shoe, then this is the bottom shoe, then we have this stripper plate. Okay, this is a little bit different design, but overall concept is the same. These are the guide pillar and guide bush. This is how a progressive tool works. Next we have the bending dies. Okay, for bending dies, in this case they are using a floating die in which springs are used for bending this component at a 90 degree. Okay, you can see over here how it is done. So this portion over here is stationary. This portion over here is stationary. This is stationary, and this plate that you see over here is called as the floating die. Okay, so you can see how the working takes place. Okay, this die keeps on pressing down, and this edge bends the component at 90 degree. Okay, so these types of dies are called as the bending dies. Then next we have the trimming die. Okay, or trimming the excess material at the edge, this type of dies can be used. This is the piercing operation. Okay, so first the component is kept on the die. It is properly located, and then the punch comes from the top and trims away the excess material. That is called as the trimming die. Next we have the forming dies. So this type of dies are usually for forming sheet metal into a particular shape. You can see over here we have a upper die, a lower die, and the blank holder. Okay, for as I said earlier, we have car bonnets or car bodies, all those doors, then rear panels of the car, all those are made by these forming dies. Then we have this another complicated die, which can be called as the side cam dies. Okay, if you have formed sheet metal part and you have to make holes in those part at a compound angle. Okay, for that you can use these side cam dies. So this type of dies are used for piercing at a compound angle. Okay, this is called as the side cam. You can see over here, as this press comes down, this side cam slides into the gray part, and then the gray part slides into the side cam and does the piercing operation. Then we will see the steps that are involved in the press tool design. What all are the steps involved? So first we have the design process, then we manufacture the tool, then we assemble the tool, and at the end we do the inspection of the parts. Okay, so first in design we have the component modeling, 2D tool layout, and strip layout. Okay, for this is applicable for progressive press tool. You need to draw a 2D strip layout first, and based on that strip layout you need to design the rest of the tool. Then we have the calculation of various forces. So there are various calculation involved depending on what type of operations you are performing. For example, if you are designing a draw die, then you have to calculate the draw reduction ratio or the blank diameter. Uh, those calculations need to be done. Also, if you are doing a progressive tool, then you need to calculate the stripping force, cutting force, then the bending force. All those water operations are performed. Based on that, calculations need to be done. Then we have the 3D modeling of the tool. After design finalization, you need to do the 3D modeling of the tool. That is the actual tool that would be manufactured. Then we have the manufacturing. So we need to do the conventional and non-conventional machining of all the parts of the tool, like machining of the plates, different plates. Then conventional stands for machining, stands for the machining that are all done on lathe grinding, wherever there is no numerical control involved. Okay, non-conventional machinings are the ones which such as CNC or the sparking or wire cut. All those machining can be considered in non-conventional. So all the parts are machined. After machining of all the parts such as punches, dies, in process inspection of all the parts are done. For example, I am manufacturing punches, then I need to inspect the shape of the punch so that it matches the shape of the feature in the component, right? The punch would be used for creating a particular feature in the component. So I need to inspect the punches before assembling the punches into the die. Okay. Then lastly, we have the polishing of all the punches, polishing of all the edges wherever the cutting operation is done. Cutting operation is being performed. Okay. Next we have the assembly of the tool according to the assembly sequence. Whatever designer have given the assembly sequence or whatever assembly sequence a particular tool need to follow, you need to follow those assembly sequence. Okay, that is first assembling the die plate, then inserting the punches. In that order you need to do the assembly of the tool. Okay, then next is after assembly you need to take trial run of the tool to find any flaws in the tool or component under running condition. Okay, so that it won't create problem when the tool is under the running condition. You need to first take the uh, trial of the tool, so that after the trial, if you find any defects in the final component, then you need to rectify those mistakes, and then again take a trial run until you get a finished proper product. Next we have the inspection. In inspection, a final inspection of the tool in assembled condition, that is the overall dimension, such as the shut height of the tool, then the length and breadth of the tool, so that you need to confirm the length and breadth, so that you can mount it on the particular machine. Then inspection of the pressed part according to the component drawing. Okay, so inspection of the component pressed part means the part which you are getting finally need to be inspected as per the component drawing provided by the client. Okay, next is tool assembly and component drawings. Now since I'm working for the design department, I will tell you what procedure we go through while designing the press tools. First is the component drawing. That is the drawings of the component we need to finalize with the customer. Then we need to create an unbent component, that is a flattened component. Okay, so this is used so that we can design a tool uh, after based on the blank shape of the component. Okay, so you need to unbend the component. Next we have operations. We decide what operations are to be performed on the component. Then next we have the strip layout. Like I said earlier, we need to decide the operations that should be performed on which stage, which operation should be performed on which stage. That can be called as the strip layout. Then next is the tool layout. That is the complete tool layout, uh, where the top plate, what would be the thickness of the top plate, then thrust plate, what will be the position of the guide plates. All those things will be decided in tool layout. Next is the exploded assembly. This can be made if necessary. Mostly we avoid making these assemblies, but if necessary, so that assembly for ease of assembly, you can make this exploded assembly also. Then total assembly. This is the complete assembly of the tool. Okay, so this is how the design considerations are and the design steps we go through. Okay. Next is the what is IDMI's contribution towards this tooling press tool. So IDMI have successfully developed 4-cylinder head gasket, which can be seen over here. Okay, so this head gasket are used in a 4-cylinder engine to avoid any kind of leaks. Okay, so we have successfully developed a progressive tool for this. Then we have developed a tool for stacking stator windings of the stator of the motor. Uh, we have developed this tool in such a way that the stamping operation is taking place simultaneously, and also the stacking takes place. Okay, stamping and stacking are taking place simultaneously. Okay, that is, at the end of the tool we would get a product that is already stacked. Okay, so this type of tool we have developed. Then we have developed some tools for electronic components, for lugs and connectors, which can be seen over here, and many more tools we have developed. So this brings me to the end of this session.